Hi, and welcome to a new Plugin Guru video. My name is John Skippy Cool. Glad to have you all here. This is a walkthrough of the patches for MegaMagic Dreams. And it's kind of fun because, watch this. I can go from the Contact 5 version to the Iris 2 version. How about the ESX24? How about Serum? With Serum, every time you load Serum, there's something you have to do to make these really work. If you want to do this, you don't have to. There's an option to limit the polyphony to one of any note number, which means when you play the same note more than once, it cancels it. Now that saves on polyphony, which is important with Serum because it does eat up CPU cycles fairly quickly, but it makes it kind of, that reverb should be ringing out, right? So if you turn this off, there. So this library is available for 4 different synthesizers right out the gate. It will also be coming out for Omnisphere 2. It's not, Omnisphere 2 hasn't been released yet, and so I'm not going to release patches for something that hasn't been released. Okay, so I want to give you a walkthrough of the patches in this library. The concept behind MegaMagic Dreams is a simple old school idea. When Serum came out, it had this oscillator called Noise, which is actually playing a sample, and I noticed that you could transpose it by key, you could turn it on and off loops, and it sounded really good, and I was like, you know, everybody talks about this library being this kind of harsh, and you know, if you go to the patches that we've made, you know, big synthesizer sounds, and I was like, you know, it wouldn't be that hard to make a library that's totally different, a whole different vibe. So we're not doing the, not that cold digital thing. What if we had instead something like, well, here, let's play Crystallize. It's beautiful. This is coming from Serum. So Serum can play these, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know, it wouldn't be that hard to make these into other formats. And I had already invested in a custom script for MegaMagic drums that has all these really cool abilities you could do to the samples really quickly. And I got a hold of Aaron, who's my Contact 5 guru, a wonderful genius. God bless his sweet soul. And we quickly worked up. There's a really cool thing about this, but if you buy the Contact 5 version, I have to show you this. This is getting off base a little bit, but that's okay. There's wallpaper, and right here is the image that's being used. And if you want, you can change that. Go in and edit that. Send me what you do, because maybe I'll include them if we make a whole bunch of really cool backgrounds. But you can make your own background image for this interface, which is really cool. And so what's fun with this is you have all this distortion and lo-fi, and glitch is incredible. You could take like this guitar sound, turn on glitch, have it do octaves, or speed this up. becomes like an octave transpose thing. So there's all sorts of really cool, you know, the bring down the envelopes. What it is isn't what it has to be. What's cool is when it rings out, it's going to go back into the reverb of the samples because it's built into the samples. So let me get some more velocity on this. I want to save that. So I'm going to go File, Save As, let's call this Funky Clav Strat. And I'm putting this into the, actually let's do this. This is a new. So this doesn't exist yet. If you buy this and download it, you won't have this patch. In May, I'm going to release an update with nice owner's manuals for both versions. More custom signature patches here, the Omnisphere 2 versions for the waves. So it's really easy. As you just saw, I made a cool sound from the dreamy sound that it started with. So that ability, and it gets even deeper. And I'm going to do a video showing you more tools and stuff for Contact 5 version especially. Because when you go to the synth effects, right, or not the insert, but the insert effects, there's a limiter in the sound, which helps make it sound nice and full. But there's 8 slots here for additional effects, and that's going to be filters, EQ, or all sorts of effects that are built into Contact. So you can take these patches inside of this interface and go crazy. Right here's your delay, so you turn this up for delay. So you have all this stuff immediately available inside of the Contact 5 version. With the Iris and the ESX24 and the Serum, it's just the basic stock patches. They play nice, they're in tune. You can have fun with them, but I didn't add additional programming to those. It's too hard when there's so many different formats and interfaces. So the Iris 2, it works like this. You select all the different categories. Go over here, if you say crystallize them, it plays it, you know? On the Iris 2, be aware that right here there's this intensity, and this is kind of like from Break Tweaker. It does a leveling, compressing, transient. It makes it bigger sounding, but it can also like make it sound a little bit too full. So in a lot of cases I turned this down to like halfway or so on a lot of patches, but I didn't do it to everything. Oh, by the way, Athena wants to say hi. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here. She's gotten so big lately. There's Athena. Say hi to everybody. Hi. Hi. Bye, MegaMagic dreams. Right? Okay, get out of here. Go lay down. Gotta go take your nap. It's nap time. Okay, so let's go through the patches. I'm going to go through them in the Contact 5 version because it has a cool interface with the unicorn on it and everything. So open up the browser. Okay, I will show you a trick right now. I thought a lot about whether or not to pay the extra licensing money to make this into something that shows up on the libraries tabs. Because MegaMagic Drums shows up down here somewhere as its own library, right? And it's got its interface and so forth. But I have to pay a licensing fee for these. It gets a little bit more tricky with serial number management and all that stuff. And I was like, you know, I don't really want to manage that right now. So I decided to do it where it's over here in the files area. And that would be a pain in the butt if you had to always navigate there and always do that stuff. But there's a shortcut I want to show you right now. If you right click, or else if you go up here and just say quick, it opens up this quick load and you set it to instrument. And watch this. This is really cool. I'm going to go over here and get to the, I found the Contact 5, and you go to instruments and you just take the instruments folder. Let's go so you can see it. Click this, drag it over here, let go. And it'll take it a little bit of time. It's going to take a look at all the patches. It isn't updated in real time, which means if you go and you add new instruments and so forth, you'll need to delete this and then do it again. This process of dragging it over here. But by doing that, it is now going to show up and reference everything so that it shows up here so you can quickly load it anytime you want, so you don't have to have the browser open. You can actually have the browser closed. Watch. Spinning. There. Now we can call this MegaMagic. Let's call this MegaMagic Dreams. There. And there they are. Everything ready to load. All you got to do is right click or hit the quick button up here. This is the full version of Contact 5. It does not work with the player because I didn't pay for the serial numbers and stuff. So that's the trade-off, is you have to own. But since this is such a great sampling instrument and there is so many great libraries under the Libraries tab, there's so much incredible support from so many companies, and the Native Instruments Complete 10 Ultimate is like the best deal on the planet. So if you don't have it, you should. So by doing that, now you can quickly load these and then make it go away. And so you don't have to go over there to the file browser. You can do that with any of your libraries. If you have other 8DO libraries or other libraries that you really like that you want to have access to, just click them, go over here, right click here, go to the Finder, find it, and drag it over, and they show up. Okay, so I can make this go away, and I can just use this to change categories if I need to. So the library, I kind of went crazy and did a whole lot of stuff. It was supposed to be a lot smaller than this, but then it was just really fun. And the sounds came out really cool, and it just kept growing, and so here it is. And I finally said, okay, I gotta stop. So I stopped. Okay, MB Acoustic. Just rings forever. Love that. The advantage of them being such long samples, as far as that goes, is that you can play up here and have melodies normally up here be like and be gone, but because it's so long, distorted sine. We made this in a previous YouTube video. It's huge. Wonderful. Mega Reese. Just rolls and rolls. Rocker. And you can control the release. If you want to get less of the noise, you want to make it darker, so you bring down the filter. Bring down the filter. Right over here is your velocity controls for amp, filter, and decay. Then here's your intensity for your filter. If I want more velocity control, you bring up velocity and bring down intensity. Because there's kind of a marriage between the filter cutoff, the intensity, and the velocity control. This is controlling filter cutoff. It's not controlling EG intensity amount. So if you bring this up, it's going to get brighter as an overall whole sound. Okay? Whereas this is controlling the shape of. This has a shape to it. So you can use it to get just a little bit of sound to go through. So it's very easy with this interface to change things around. Not that you can't do that with the other ones, because you can. Skelter. Just huge. Also, usually I didn't do anything to the mod wheel. On Serum, I did do a cool thing, I think. When you bring up the mod wheel, it kills the attack. So be aware of that. It's the only library that does that. Subtrap. Huge. This is from Zebra too. It's actually a patch from our Toxic Zebra library that I sampled. It's awesome. FM quality to it. That's another Toxic Zebra patch. Tornado. think that's all the bass. And I put bell and pluck together. This is Bell Me Sometime. I'll tell you a little story real quick. So this is from Toby Pittman. Toby worked with me and Seth Norman and Ryland Allison and one other wonderful, nice gentleman on the Break Tweaker Power Pack of MegaMagic drums. Anyway, we talked about doing something else in the future together, and he's like, anytime you need something, let me know. And I wanted to add something special to the Contact 5 version to make this a little bit more value. And so I talked to him and I said, I want to do a series of signature patches, just taking these patches and changing them around to make them different. And so he created some patches here. But on top of that, the crazy guy, he had fun sampling. He goes, I'm sampling stuff. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm having a good time. And he sent me like all the CS60 and guitar things that he did. Awesome stuff. So he did these, and then I took them and put them through this special processing chain that I'd set up for the vibe of MegaMagic Dreams to get the reverb. And so samples in here are also from Toby Pittman, which is really cool. This is and this is a single sample. You hear all sorts of additional elements, but those are just layers that I layered in. Okay. Love that. Just fades on forever. Hey, my dog. Good girl. Cyber Motion. Can't all be just stock normal bells. Okay. Dream Harp. Beautiful. Glock. There's two Glocks. There's a soft one. And then there's a stronger. And don't be deceived. These are kind of ambient sounds, but these can be used in all sorts of modern dance style music. There's all sorts of the cinematic, dramatic stuff that goes on inside of all the stuff that's happening. I mean, it's a great amalgamation of things. So these are useful for all sorts of stuff, not just the ambient stuff, right? Like this. Transpose the sucker down 2 octaves. Great. So off you go. Okay. Harmoniano. Harpalimba. Might hear some old school korg in there. Magic pluck. Marimba verb. Rough bell. That's what the library is about, that magic and the ringing out. I mean, just play things. And I called it dreams because these are like dreams. It appears, and then as you wake up, it kind of goes away. So these sounds all... stereo harmonics. Totally plucked. This is another CS60. Xylo and Viro. I think that's all of the bell plucked. Yeah. Okay, guitar category is very special. These came out so nice. Starting with DI Dreaming. Just play 10 chords and have a dance beat on it, and you've got half of the stuff you hear on the radio. Dreamy Nylon Height. Now, this is where we get into some of the distinctions between the different versions. Contact and EXS24 can both do the sampling zones, where you have one sample in the lower part of the keyboard, a different sample in the different part of the keyboard, and velocity switching. Serum can't do either of those. Iris can do zoning, but can't do velocity switching. Omnisphere 2 can't do velocity switching or zones. It's only a single file, only one. So different format plugins have different patches that can work and obviously can't work. So when you see the high and the low, and then you see one without high and low in the name, that tells you like the Dreamy High is the higher sample. Okay. And some have low. So it's amazing how the different zones, taking a sample from a lower range of a guitar, you've got more of that baritone-y warm tone. But if you go to the high zone, it was nice and mellow. More for melodies and so forth, right? So, Dreamy Nylon, that's both the low and the high together. Kind of the best of both worlds. Okay. Fender Verb, high. Play these for hours. I've sent this, gotten a couple of my good customers have had a day or two early releases to play with, and they're like, I can't stop playing the sounds. So I was very happy for that report. That reverb has a cool chorusy quality to it, so up high. harmonics. Muted Dreamer. This is cool for like the reggae-esque kind of thing. If you hold it down, it's going to ring out longer, but I made the envelopes kind of shorter on this one. That kind of thing. Spanky Octaves. This is another one from Toby. I don't know how he made that exactly, but it's epic. A lot of these you could use for cool melodies. A whole lot of stuff going on around it. Steel High, Steel Acoustic. It's amazing how nice this sample from somewhere up here sounds so cool down here. None of these are multi-sampled. It's just a single sample for the most part, sometimes two. There's a couple velocity switching that do 3 or 4 that we'll get to later in the synth category. But that's it. Everything else is just, this is the 2 samples together. Because the steel low sample didn't sound good. It didn't transpose very well. I didn't like how it transposed, so I decided not to make a patch for it. So, Still Dreaming. And because of the way that I set up the filter and the velocity control, you can get it to sound like Busy Fingers really nicely. Do that, be aware. Polyphony issues. Serum has 16 voices. Iris, for a lot of the patches, I would go up here and I would crank right here the voices to 32. But it's eating heavy CPU to do that, because the thing with Iris that's cool is you can have these sounds. And you go over here to these tools that you have. You can paint all sorts of different things. Crazy things that you can't do anywhere else with Iris. This is why you get Iris. Check this out. So we go like that. I think I hold up my modifier key. Oh, I'm just selecting certain areas of the sound, right? And this was a guitar. And it's cool. It shows you a line is for each note of polyphony, so you can kind of tell where. Crazy disassembly of samples immediately. That's Iris's trademark. Or you can say no. Turn it off and now you're back to what you started with. So it can do up to 32 notes of polyphony, but be aware that that's going to make the CPU go, especially if you start doing all the advanced real-time filtering and so forth. All right, back to guitars. Still Dreaming. We have the Sunny Dreamers. 2. And then the 2 together. Okay. It could ring on forever. I should let them all ring on forever, but there's another from Toby where he did some wobbling. This one's fun with a glitch. And see right here, we'll set to 8th notes. Get some delay on. And sync and set this to be... So if you want that cool, unique sound for your next EDM track, what's fun? Glitch can be set in tunings. So let's set it to the 5ths. 7s, like this is really great for the... Okay, so yeah, so much fun to play with. And that's in the guitars. Now keys is maybe my favorite, just because I'm a keyboard player. And I really wanted a whole bunch of stuff. I thought of people in churches that need mellow sounds, people that want just dreamy ballad sounds, all the warm kind of sounds that you hear in all these tracks. And it's like, where do you go to get those? This is one place you can go now. There's other places, of course. Vintage. Okay. Warm. Lovely. Bosey. This is a really high sample. But even that high sample down here is really cool. Castle Walls. There's Dry, which is... and then the Wet, which has... Crystallize. Just rings on and on in the samples. Really fun. Fun to do something different. Dark is grand. I love this. This is for the very dark, painful moments in life. dark. Distorted. This is another one we did on the YouTube video with the bass. And the ring announcer is lovely. That's using the default sine wave on the ESX24 through distortion. That's fun. Dream Piano, one of my favorites. One of the demo songs on the website is just this all by itself. Melotronic. This is like an electronic grand. Different quality to it, kind of gamelan-y down here. I love the key of D minor today for some reason. Everything's in D minor. Organ Vox. We'll play a different key. Pipe Dream Strings. Pure Warmth. These are the There's a number of these. Safe Place. The attack is so important, and it's different for each one, so they might be that dark category, but they're each unique. I made sure I had stuff that fit into different. Now this is a version, I use the EQ to accentuate that, the airy part. Now you don't have that in the ESX24, for example. You don't have EQ in the plugin. So they're going to sound different from patch to patch, from plugin to plugin. So if you compare them, you'll notice there's definitely differences, but that's just kind of inherent to the way it is. Everything's playable. You can play it and have a nice time. The reverb doesn't overwhelm it, which is kind of what's fun for this kind of concept. If like I showed in an earlier video, if you bring the reverb up, it just becomes really swimmy and crazy. But here, since it's in the samples, you're controlling it with what you play and what you don't play. When you don't play, when I play new samples, instead of interacting with that reverb, it's new samples with their own reverb. That's what's the nice thing that you don't get when you have a reverb effect on, because everything's going into the same reverb and being processed in real time. Okay. It goes forever. Then we're back to the beginning. So that's that. Pads, just a handful of nice, really useful. Oh wait, drag up. But I wanted these still to be the dream category. These are things that hit and go away. All of them except for one. So you want to... As you go down the keyboard, it takes longer for it to go away, so you can use it for more pad type of things. And if you go to the amp and you bring this up, everything makes lovely pads. It's just automatically beautiful. String machine. This is... Okay. Very pretty. This is from the Access Virus. This is nice growing. Okay, and then Voxy Verbiage. Strings, a handful. These were kind of fun just to play with. From the contrabass type of. Because normally with violins and so forth, you need every note to be a sample for it to sound realistic. So these are way off the realistic chart, but it's still this cool, unique. All sorts of places you can go with these. My goodness. Dream String Combo is a combination of the two samples, one for the bottom part of the keyboard, one for the top part of the keyboard. For the you got the low sample, and then the up. You can play fast lines and stuff like that. And then you got the high and the low. So the high one's more chiffy. And this is more chiffy in the low end. And up here it gets very spiky and synthetic sounding, which is I really loved. So we need new sounds. You know, if I just make new sound, if I make sounds like everybody else has already made, then it's boring. So I'm looking outside the box a little bit with these. All sorts of places you can go. My goodness. And then back to the contrabass. And finally, synth. We have Pro Airy. This is from the Prophet 53, which you can't buy anymore. But I sampled it a long time ago for possible use in a korg synthesizer. And we didn't use it, but I kept it. Saved it on my hard drive and used one note from it. And becomes beautiful, pure synthesis kind of sound. Airy whistle. Really cool down low. It's cool sonar kind of things. I love stuff like that. So play around with these. There's all sorts of different uses. I wanted stuff that was very open to being used all sorts of different ways. So even those dreams, and there's a unicorn with a little star on its unicorn horn. That doesn't mean it's just for the unicorn people. More than unicorn people. Love that. This is another patch from Toby. Buzzy and all sorts of cool stuff in it. Brassy Verby. I think it's another zebra patch. Either that or it's an FM8 patch from one of my power packs. Cessna. This is from the Access Virus. A long time ago I recorded this. It just grows and evolves, does this really? Very slow, time evolving, ambient, experimental. So a little bit of something for everybody. Dreamtime. There's another one from Toby from his CS60, which is a Yamaha synthesizer. Ghostly Resverb. Another one from the Zebra, Toxic Zebra library as it recorded. And then we get to the Maxwells. Now Maxwells are all based on my modular synthesizer over here. Maxwell. Good synthesizer. I messed up my camera so I can't see where I am now. So hopefully I'm still in the picture. But I would use Maxwell to create both the oscillator source and the reverb. I've got the make noise, what's it called? Herb verb, I believe. Yeah. Herb verb. And so that was used as the reverb instead of my other chain. So all the Maxwell stuff has a whole different signature to it, to the character. And this is one of the few samples. The anthem strings are looped. And so when you play a note, it'll keep playing. So you can... So this is useful for making all sorts of aggressive. Kind of stuff. You could put a little pitchy G. Let me save that because that's a good start at something that I want to have. Save to the signature. Maxwell, snappiness, new. So the ones that say new Those will show up in the May update. Just FYI. Mega Resfall. Back to the synth stuff. Love that. So this is a longer shape. And there's a short version. Some of these sounds I'm using the tron filter. And it's got a really cool quality, a little bit of overdrive, kind of a scream kind of thing to it. So the res that you heard in some of the other patches earlier, and this, and Silky Resfall. That's the tron filter. And if you know the if you guys know the Dead Mouse, there's a Dead Mouse track called Sophie that starts with. Sound very much like that in the beginning. Big beat comes in. Super string. A lot of these are coming from braids. If any of you guys know the different modular synthesizers, this oscillator is incredible because it has like 50 different types of algorithms and a number of parameters to modify those sounds, and it's wonderful. So it'd probably be one of the first modules I would get for because it can do the analog thing, it can do the FM, it can do tron, it can do physical model winds, it can do just ton of stuff. Unison, stupid. X-ray. This is a mellotron sound. Octapower. Now this sounds really good, for example, for Serum, because Serum, a lot of the sounds are more the aggressive, not so warm. But here you go to Octapower and it's just really... Yeah, let's keep going in Serum, ping. It's a sample from the Z1, from Korg Z1. Now here's examples where Serum has the 4 patches. It's got the hard, the medium hard, medium, then it has the soft, which is really lovely for the... Okay, but if we go back to the Contact 5 version, it can do velocity switching. So on top of those as separates, it also has down here pluck verb 4-way. So now with this one, I have 4-way velocity switching, so I can go. And even with filtering and stuff on Serum, you can get some dynamic expressivity, kind of like the 4-way velocity. Oh, I didn't do any on that one. Bring down filter cutoff. Bring up the velocity amount. Sounds pretty good. But it's different than having velocity switching samples. So that's one of the differences. Serum can't do velocity switches. So you will have to compensate by bringing down cutoff, bringing up velocity. Still sounds good. Used a lot of effects on Serum. Something's hidden. Like the distortion's hidden, it's over here. You've also got chorus. This is on every patch. Reverb. So if you want, if the reverb in the samples isn't enough, now you can add that, and then the filter cutoff. The macros are set up like that for every Serum patch. All right. So we showed the velocity switching. We showed the non-velocity switching. We are ready for Power Snapper. Another one from Toby. Solaris. Synthy string. Just nice string shape to it. Therenbach. Triumph overall. Huge. Okay. This is the 3-way of the viral spike. Go to Iris, for example, and we go to the synths. We go to viral. Pluckish, viral. See, you don't have velocity switching here, so you've got just the hard. Medium. And then the soft, which is really nice. Okay, but when you go up to the K5, Contact 5 version, you've got velocity switching available as well for in one patch, which is nice. Did it wherever I could, if it could support it. Warm impact, almost done. It's huge down here. And then finally, warm snap. There you go. So it's a great library. Very happy with how it turned out. There's been a lot of heavy duty stuff in my life going on for the last 2 months or so while I built this. So a lot of the stuff I'm going through are in these sounds. So that makes it even more special to me, and hopefully it will be special to you. So thank you for watching. I thank all of you sincerely for your continued support, May these sounds inspire you and find all sorts of cool uses in your music and your musical adventures. And I'll see you soon. Really soon, because I'm actually going to make a video on installations next. So stay tuned. All right. See you later. Bye.